Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Akalon Wastes. We are here on this desert, very dry place, similar to the central part of Australia. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe there's like weird things around Central Australia. I haven't been there for ages. I went like years ago. But anyway, we're here for some Starcraft, of course. It is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg. Starting down the right-hand side as our Protoss player, currently playing for his own little cart team, I believe it is. I'm not actually sure. I should have asked him on Twitter just before, but it is bAruncart. He's a player up in the GM League on NA who has been certainly taking some names after some of these replays I've seen of him playing. He's doing a really good job, and of course shout out to him for saying hello to me on Twitter. We had a little bit of a chat about sending over some more replays and this kind of thing. This one I did find over on drop.sc. Wait, is it SC? Yeah, it's drop.sc. I don't know. Shout out to that website for hosting quite a lot of replays. But his opponent up at the top left-hand side, who he's about to scout out right now, it is Root Gaming's The Gun Run, aka Catz. It's, of course, Catz, the wonderful the leader of the Root Gaming team, who has been just a player, a very solid sort of player, whilst also being very intriguing, I guess, is one of the words you could use to describe the way he plays. He is going to scout out his opponent with a drone. That was around about the 12 or 13 mark, and one of the reasons which Catz does this, I'm sure many people who have watched his stream will know that Catz is not afraid of the old crazy thing to throw out there from time to time. It looks as if he is going to just stick around for the moment here, but one of the reasons which he does this is actually to scout out his opponent to see if there is a Forge Fast expansion, because that can dictate the way that Catz is going to play. As many people will know, Catz is not afraid to throw out the old, like a proxy hatchery somewhere inside the main base or something like that, even at the natural perhaps, but he does do these things from time to time, and it's part of a way, at least from my logic as to looking at it, is to sort of distract your opponent, because as we can see down here, we do have a little bit of a fight going on. bAruncart is going to have to poke away at some of these cannons. Two of those cannons now building here at the bottom of the natural. We'll get back to Catz in just a second, but the cannon's going to work here. Will this one get up? It looks like no, that is going to go down. You need at least 4 drones to take down a photon cannon before it can finish building here. We can see that bAruncart has almost gotten one of these cannons up. I think this one may actually get operational because there is only one drone poking away at that right now, and that is very dangerous here for our Zerg player. Looks like the probe is going to escape, and in fact there was a second probe there as well, so bAruncart has certainly thrown out a couple of probes at this. It looks like he will take out a few drones, and we'll keep an eye on that drone kill total in just a second here. The cannon finally goes down. Catz is going to get to work on mining away at that natural base. So just 3 workers killed in total, not a massive amount. And now, as we mentioned before, Catz has thrown down a hatchery inside the main base. bAruncart not aware of this just as of yet. I'm sure he'll scout it out very soon. Just got to be well aware of these kinds of things coming out of Catz. We mentioned it before, known for having very interesting kinds of styles here, and bAruncart is going to find that. Yeah, there we go. All right, so he's going to see the hatchery. What's this hatchery for, you ask? Well, this can force quite a lot out of your opponent. We can see here that a pylon's going to come out. Most players will respond to this by throwing down a cannon or two. What some people do is they'll go, all right, all you probes, get to work, right-click on that hatchery and try and kill it off. Not always the best response. Weirdly enough, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but it's not always the best response. One thing which you can do is just throw down a cannon or two and try and either force the cancel the hatchery, or you can try and kill it after the fact. If this hatchery goes up, if a queen comes out and then nothing else comes out, and you kill off the hatchery, then the queen, the Zerg player is not actually in sort of the greatest position that they would want to be at this point. Normally, the way Catz plays, he likes to throw down that hatchery to distract his opponent, make them build these kind of buildings up here, like this, like the double cannons that are here, make them pull some probes perhaps, and this lets him freely take a third base very quickly without the fear of any cannon rushing or early attacks or anything like that. So that's just sort of some of the theory which I throw into that. So I'm sure if Catz was watching the video, he could explain it far better than I could, but that's just some of the theory behind that. But it looks as if he is going to lose the hatchery. We did see a queen start, but that has been cancelled now. It looks like the broodling's going to come out, see what damage they can get done. They actually do a huge amount of damage. It's incredible how much these little guys can do. But the only thing left, 2 larvae, a little bit of creep, and what's the difference here? We can see the units on the units lost tab. Not really that much. 4 units in total. That was just those drones that Catz lost at the start. He's now actually going to try and build a pair of Lings down here. I'm not sure if this is the best idea. They're never going to get away from those cannons, and yeah, he is forced to cancel. So Catz in a little bit more of a sort of odd position right now, and I'm sure he's very used to that kind of thing given the way that he plays. But bAruncart is now up to a total of 31 probes right now, takes the 2 gases down at his natural, and is probably just going to look to play out relatively standard from here. We'll see how he goes. It looks like a +1 weapons is on the way. Warpgate Tech is just researching as well. We can also see a couple of zealots just making their way across. They want to check out if the 3rd base is here. If they don't see it, then of course bAruncart is going to be thinking, alright, we need to make some choices here. Do I throw down some more cannons? Do I prepare the Stargate Tech, which is a very common kind of transition from this point, to prepare for roaches? Because those guys are on the way. And as we saw before, Catz actually has burrow research done. Now, you're thinking, what is he going to do with this? That's kind of weird. It's not as if he can sneak past the cannon at the front. Well, you can look to try and take out the cannon as quickly as possible. Then what you can do is some really pesky sort of harassment from this position here, where you assault these buildings at the front. You try and just try and take down the cyber, take down the forge, something like this. Then use your burrow micro to try and to keep those roaches alive, because apart from this cannon, there isn't really too much to detect here for our Protoss player. And we can see that Catz is now coming along. He tried to take out the cannon, but I mean, there's now a second one there. This attack is not going to go too well, and yeah, Catz is forced to back off right now. And as we can see, burrow those roaches. But one advantage which he does get from this is the possibility to burrow some Lings at his opponent's 3rd base. It's just to delay them for a tiny bit longer. So it does look as if our Protoss player is going to switch into what may be a gateway attack very soon. A robo facility is now done. Warp gates are going to start switching in, and we'll probably see some harassment here from bAruncart very, very soon as he looks to try and attack this 3rd base of Catz. The pylon ready to go. The 3rd base is up and almost done there for Catz. So if this hatchery gets up and running, and the attack starts coming in from bAruncart, this is going to put Catz in a very troublesome position right now. We'll see if he's ready to defend. A few roaches in position here to try and come across and take care of the pylon. I think he might have a little bit of a spider sense tingling moment here. Yeah, does find the pylon here. The zealots on the high ground are going to go to work on that hatchery. I don't think he's going to be able to kill it off. We'll keep an eye on that as the lair is now just about complete. +1 to missile weapons on the way, and in fact more zealots will come in. So bAruncart is definitely going to get this hatchery right now. The mothership core coming across to try and take out the roaches before they can get any more damage done. But the hatchery is down, and I mean, that puts Catz in a very awkward spot right now. We mentioned it before. I mean, he's now lost his 3rd. His 3rd was already delayed a little bit. It's now lost. He has delayed his opponent's 3rd. As we can see, the burrowed Ling is going to keep under there for quite a while. What's with the tail? You can see the tail on the Zergling. That's really weird. Anyway, let's go back to what's happening here. We've got Catz looking to get what may be... Yeah, we've got some Hydras on the way. +1 to Carapace is finally starting up. And I mean, his drone count at the moment is currently sitting at 47. Not exactly the normal sort of position you'd want to be as a Zerg player at the 12-minute mark. So normally we'd see a Zerg somewhere around about the 60, sometimes a bit more with their drone count, and the Protoss player a little bit further behind that, around about this normal sort of amount, which is 41. So bAruncart has played a really nice defensive game for the time being, pushing across with some of those zealots and getting some damage done on the 3rd base. So very nicely done by him. His +1 to armor is just about to finish up. We can also see that the Colossi are now about to start coming out, and with his economy in a very secure position, bAruncart looks like he is going to go for a pretty big 2-base attack. We'll keep an eye on that gateway count. We're up to a total of 8. Colossus Extended Thermal Lance is on the way. We've got a few sentries here, some zealots there as well, and we'll see. You can't get out. This is the unfortunate part about this this building positioning here. We can see that there, plus that. It's wide enough for single units like these, the sentries and the zealots, but it's not for the fat units like the Colossus and the Immortals and these kinds of things. So He did have to bust down a pylon to get out of there. It looks like a burrowed ling is going to keep an eye on what's going on here for Catz. He will be aware that there is a very, very deadly force about to be approaching him very soon. He does have these hydras out. We've got roaches. They're about to get their speed is on the way, but for those hydras, they have only got their groove spines for the time being. So for Catz, this is going to be very dependent on him having good positioning, good unit spread as well, along with possibly even some micro on the front of the roaches. If he can burrow these roaches, they do have that extra little bit of regen when they're on the ground. So we'll see if Catz is going to implement that kind of thing. In the larger scheme of things, that kind of burrow micro isn't always the best way to like secure a victory, but I mean, if he can add it in, it's just a tiny little bit that always makes a difference here at the high level of StarCraft 2 play. So bAruncart is now getting prepared. More warpins down here at well, just outside the natural base, not looking to secure a third. As we can see, he has not moved around to those positions just as of yet. And we will have this attack commencing now. The third base of Catz has been blocked off by some destructible debris, but he does have 10 roaches now on the way. Their roach speed is just about to finish up. Waiting for a couple of injects here is Catz, but it looks... We're just going to have like a base trade, it seems. Catz is now approaching his opponent with a large Roach Hydra force. Just 1-1 on their upgrades. The Warp Prism is now on the way. Will that be taken out? That is very important there, that Warp Prism has survived. But we can see that bAruncart is now just walking inside Catz's natural base. Nothing to stop any of this. He's thinking, where is everything? All right, they're over there. So Catz is now attacking into his opponent's natural. Not much defense here. These guys just basically just trading bases right now. It's important to keep in mind that there is no mothership core to help with a recall back home. And yeah, I think bAruncart has just realized it's probably going to be very difficult to get back home and save his tech, not only the tech, but also the Nexus and everything that is going on right here. So this is going to turn into a very weird and sort of ugly situation, taking us back to the old days of StarCraft Wings of Liberty. I'm sure many people remember base trades like this happened a lot more in Wings of Liberty. You rarely see them towards the latter stages of Wings of Liberty, nor in Heart of the Swarm as much. So this is going to be really interesting to see how these two players will play it out. Roaches and Hydras inside. The worker count now down to just 14 and continually diving there for our Protoss player. The Warp Prism has come back. He's rescued some of those probes there, and they will escape for the time being. We can see that bAruncart has certainly got a lot of minerals available to spend right now. 1,200 minerals are available, so he can possibly throw down another 3 next side at this point. So we'll see what he goes with at this current stage. For for Catz, he's got his own 800 minerals, and now he's slowly but surely taking out all of the buildings inside the Protoss main base. bAruncart has now got no more he has no more buildings out here apart from the two guys, the assimilators, I should say, down there at the natural. He is now disposing of that lair at the natural base of Catz. And Catz, I mean, he's this is going to be really interesting because there are some units that have escaped that Warp Prism. What are you doing, my friend? He's sort of chasing after some of these roaches, or I don't really know what's going on, but Catz looking to get that Spire. This is a very, very important part of base trades, especially in Zerg versus Protoss. If you can get some mutas out, you may be able to salvage the game, but I mean, this is going to be quite difficult for Catz right now because he has to deal with 2 Colossi. We've got a lot of Stalkers out. Some sentries are available for Force Fields and Guardian Shields as well. The Protoss units, while not necessarily the most upgraded units right now, do have 101, and well, for Catz, he's got his 1-1 on his Roaches and Hydras, trying to rebuild another hatchery down at the bottom side of the map, but I think this is going to get caught. He's going to have to cancel that one if he wants to keep that alive. The drones trying to escape. They will try and get across to the left-hand side there, but caught by the Colossi and those Stalkers. The drones will get burnt apart. Now, let's have a look at the situation here for Catz. He's currently sitting on 1 hatchery at the, well, that sort of pocket third base there. He's got a little bit of gas coming in. He has almost no minerals right now. He's building another hatchery, but the our Protoss opponent here, bAruncart, has now got his own Nexus on the way that is just about to finish up, and we may have a battle to decide how this game ends up, but Force Fields all over the place here from bAruncart. He's been able to segment everything here beautifully, blocking off the roaches up here at the top side, and then just just force fielding off everything else down to the bottom edge as well. He's now going to look to try and push in towards his base. He's finally found out where one of the last remaining hatcheries is, but his own expansion, the last remaining nexus that he has, is now under attack. The roaches, the hydras blasting their way into this nexus. Gonna take that down, there's no questions about that at all. But bAruncart is gonna have his own day here, building a couple of pylons. I do like that he's built these here. What I would really love to see, like I don't think we're gonna get to see it, is the usage of this this warp prism. What you can do is actually deploy it into pylon mode, build a building somewhere, and then like something a little bit more hefty, like a gateway or possibly a cyber core or something like that. Build it somewhere really random on the map, and then depower the warp prism, and then you can actually have that building somewhere out on the map. But either way, looks like bAruncart has finally found out where the last few roaches are that Catz had inside his old main base. But the roaches and hydras now looking to try and attack that force. I don't think that's going to go too well. Catz is forced out of the base. The few remaining roaches inside, they're also going to be taken out, it looks like. And yeah, bAruncart's forces are very powerful right here. We can see on the unit tab that he has got the 7 sentries, 1 immortal, 2 colossi, 9 stalkers, and 4 zealots down on the ground. Whereas for our Zerg compatriot here, we've got 5 hydras remaining, 3 zerglings out of the map, all burrowed underneath some of these bases. In fact, Catz says, "I may need you, my friends. Let's go party." And well, bAruncart has got a single pylon. That is all we have for our Protoss player here, so he has to be extremely careful about his positioning right now. If these Zerglings, if the 5 remaining Hydras somehow find that hidden pylon there, I know it's not necessarily hidden, guys, but I mean, you know, it's going to be a little bit of trouble here for him to try and get up there. So we'll see how he's going to go. It looks like he is trying to come across. The Stalker force is now making its way up, just scouting out what's going on. Catz trying to hide some of these units, perhaps a burrow there on those drones, I don't know, but there is an observer out for bAruncart, so he is going to be able to find anything that burrows. The last hatchery goes down, the spawning pool also goes down. Catz making a mad dash for that pylon. If he can get across here and take that pylon out, he may be able to win the game. bAruncart very cleverly has a probe across down the bottom side of the map. He knows that that is under attack. That pylon is the last remaining building he has, so he needs to build something very quickly here. There is a pylon now being built across on the right hand side next to all the forces. This is a clever part about how he's doing this, is he has taken out Catz's units, Catz's buildings here, and we just have 1 extractor remaining here for our Zerg player from Root Gaming. If Catz can salvage this, I'll be very surprised. But bAruncart is now making his way across to that extractor. You can tell because the immortals are like, hey, it's over there, guys, let's go. I've got some wall hacks. And well, Catz approaches the pylon, thinks that it's undefended. It is actually undefended for now. He actually approaches and says, is this actually the last building on the map? It looks like bAruncart is making his way over to the extractor. No more drones are left over, and an assimilator is built by bAruncart, which will secure him the win here as the last building of Catz goes down to the large force of Protoss units that were left over. What a crazy base trade. I know it has been a very long time since we've seen something, well, like at a very high level. You don't get to see these kind of base trades too often these days in, as I said, at the end of Wings of Liberty, and then also in Heart of the Swarm now. But a very interesting one here between bAruncart and Catz, aka the Gun Run. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you all next time. The Link's just bounding after them as quickly as they can with that metabolic boost, and he isn't going to be able to get them. Yeah, he does back off, so good decision there. But we can see that we are going to get some drop play coming out of I Love MKP, the very famous flavor of the month.